Okay, thank you so much for inviting us to join this demo day event. So we are UneMeta. We are a NFT platform actually based in Japan. And what we are doing is different from the others is that we're working closely with the top animation IPs from Japan. And we have a couple of successful cases already. And last month, by the end of last month, actually our first year anniversary. So basically, during the last year, we built a pretty solid community in Japan, and we are. I think we're proud to say that we're one of the biggest NFT community in Japan. So actually, from this year September, we began to expand our influence in the other areas of Asia, and we hold offline events during the Korean blockchain week, and also during the token 2049 in Singapore, and this month was in Hong Kong at the App Fest with the Penguin community, and I think the population we got pretty welcome at there. So our next step, because the market's getting warmer again, so we are expand our goal for next year is to expand our influence in the rest area of Asia. So here's our some examples of the cases we have done. Our first IP case was with the top voice actress in Japan, Hanazawa Kana. If you are a animation fan, you definitely heard her works. So the difference between the way we work with IPs and others is that we require the IP or the artist to do like influence, to do promotions on her own social account. So for example, when we work with Hanazawa Kana and she promote about NFT, about website, and how to join the Discord on her own Twitter account. So that's why we can kind of transfer some of the Web 2 fan bases into the Web 3. And also, for example, for our next IP product that's going to launch within this year, Kumamon. And I think a lot of people in Asia know this little black bear. We actually ask the bear itself to get on a Web3 conference stage to introduce the NFT projects that we are going to do together. So, and also for, we're very excited to do for next year is we are launching a movie that we're part of the production team. And this movie was made by 4 directors, 2 from Japan, 2 from China. And the 2 directors from Japan, one of is the very famous director of the Cowboy Bebop, who is Watanabe. And also the director from China is also the director of Jiangzi Ya Li Wei. And we have been working on this animation movie for almost a year, and we already got bought the broadcast right by Tencent, TV Tokyo, and Netflix. So the whole movie distribution process is going to be Web3 infused. So we're very excited to see how can we build the power of this movie, of this IP through Web3, through DAO. And we want people to see that this is a new format to make the influence of the IP. So here's some other examples we have done. This is the art exhibition we did during the Singapore Token 2049. We held a exhibition with the original art animation hand scripts for 2 weeks. So we got a total visitor over 10K. And here's some works we showed at the exhibition. As you can see, all of this is from very famous IP: Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball, One Piece, Studio Ghibli. So this is how we close work with the IP owners or the IP assets. So with this effort, we have built a pretty strong social network fan base, and it's still ongoing. And we are pretty much a pretty engaged community. So because last month is our Web3. So the DAU was up to almost 40K, but during the regular day, the DAU is about 12K to 15K. So it's pretty, like everybody in our community is very engaged. And since we have been working with IP and Web3 cases, so we find it's a perfect match between these two. So Web3 actually accelerates the impact of IPs. And we figured that because there's some pinpoints currently for traditional IP, they're actually facing the entry level is getting lower because people are distributing their content on internet channels like TikTok or YouTube. So this IPs are looking for more channels to show themselves and to monetize their influences. But they're also afraid because token NFTs are quite speculative. So especially in Japan, even though they have very strong IP power, but they are pretty fallback about what's going on here in the rest of the world. So we kind of have a advantage since based on our cases already. And for the Web3 content, I think we're in the stage of lack of enough showcase. One of the pretty successful showcase worth to mention is just the Twitter profile pictures. So we need more places for them to go. So even though some like popular NFT projects like Penguin or apps, the way they try to monetization themselves is still in the web 2 way, selling toys on Amazon or selling clothes, and the whole chain of the value creation is actually broken. So you cannot really chase how much money they sell offline in the markets, and the whole license right is also different. So so we're trying to build is a Web3 like IP driven Web3 ecosystem. So we want to have like IPs, this IP not only like famous ones, not maybe like you are a Bilibili app like content provider or a KOL is both okay. So we're creating this like chatbot interaction way for these IPs to interact with users and to increase their intimacy level during this chatting. And if you have higher intimacy, you can unlock some exclusive contents of the IP, like videos, like signatures, pictures, and all of this can be based on chain. So all of this are Web3 contents. And make it more playful, you can decorate the IP, and like you can also in the future can also mint a trained IP with your favorite decoration on chain into an NFT. So so basically what we want to do is create a new use case, more interactive IP use case with Web3 asset, but not only NFTs. So with the token is a Web3 asset, NFT is Web3 asset. And so in that way, we can try to increase the influence of this IP by management the price of their token of their Web3 asset as well. So maybe in the future, and it's not only just a chatbot or a decoration tool. We want to make like a more 3D figures or voice text to voices or AR and make it more playful and resourceful. And hopefully in the long future, we want to be like a IP resource pool. And for our website that applications, if they want to have this IP under that application as well, they can kind of send a request, and we can manage to receive the loyalty or the income shares through smart contract. So so that's the future. So this is what we're having right now. We're having a basic NFT marketplace, and also we not only a marketplace, we actually have a redemption center for redeem the reward for our users' daily activities. And our reward is not only Web3 items. Our reward including like Amazon gift card, Starbucks gift card, because we want people to really they have no idea what NFT is, what token is. They're not chasing for airdrops, but they can still enjoy the way they're interactive with our website and have rewarded. So here is some numbers that of the cases we have done. And we actually came into this NFT field at the beginning of a bear market. So this case I'm worth mentioning. We actually did this case with this Hong Kong company, and it's their kind of like beginning step get into that NFT Japanese market, and we sold this out at Christmas last year, so which is the bearest time. So we sold out 500 pieces in 25 minutes, and the expensive one is $1,000, and the less expensive one is like $200. So that's how strong our communities are, and so we actually kind of customize our cases for each IP we're working with. And this is a quite artistic IP by Mushi Production. And it was a movie made 50 years ago. And so we did a 2 weeks exhibition in Harajuku, Tokyo. And everything, the merchandise are exhibition level required made. And because, it's offline, there are a lot of users that have no idea what NFTs is. They never bought a token. So we launched a instruction to teach them how to buy NFTs through fiat. So also this art piece was the physical artwork was actually destroyed, and there are only a couple of them left. So most of them are digital copies. So it's actually amazing to see how we made these digital copies into NFT and become like art collectibles. And also we have a ticketing system of NFTs, which was used at Singapore Art Exhibition. So on and so on. This is our sponsors and partners, and we have been working with different partners of different fields, and there's some media coverage about us. Here's some photos at the exhibition during weekend. It was packed, and we were selected into the HKSTP incubator, and we actually done a lot of offline events in Tokyo, in Japan, and since it's quite important to do influence face-to-face over there. And yeah, that's pretty much our presentation. So here is our website and Twitter, and feel free to contact us if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thanks, and thanks to UneMeta. And right now, let's have the Heslin can ask the question to the UneMeta, please.
Yeah, thanks. Really interesting concept. I guess one thing that that really will set the tone for the success of the project is the pipeline of different projects and IP that you've gotten. The ones that you've already acquired are pretty great, but wondering what your long tail approach is for new IP, and how are you looking at the partnerships that you have to spin out new angles and business products with that as well?
Well, for IPs, we are quite, we actually still have a couple of them not released since we're an NDA. And the one thing worth to mention is actually in Japan, and there's not very, even though you're really famous director, it's still very hard to launch a new original work. So so for this movie, we're going to release next year, test to production. It's actually already a success for us because we work with some really top directors, and at the beginning they have no idea, they don't like believe that we can work this out through Web3. But now, since we already acquired a license, like license to release this movie, and also we already sell the broadcast right, and they're very excited about how this is going to happen in the future. So we have actually other directors who already have pretty famous animation in the past, and they are working on their pieces during these years, but they have no idea how to release them. So instead of working with mature IPs, which we just, we we kind of need the license from the IP, and we made the NFT out of it. We more interested in the future building more IPs that we can own by ourselves. So which means not only for NFTs, we can also do Web2 stuff license. So this is where looking. This is some in the future for the IP side we are going to focus on. So for the product side, so this is the this is the more like the way we want to build. We want to make it more interactive and more easier for the users to, not only the Web3 users, but the Web2 users to understand like how can they acquire a Web3 asset introduced by the IP they like. I hope that answers your question.
Perfect, thanks. With the Netflix relationship that you have, is that a regional Netflix or is that global distribution?
For this, actually, for China is Tencent. For Japan is TV Tokyo. For the rest of these two areas, Netflix.
Okay, thanks.